Institute. So the idea of these are derived from Qigong, and they're designed to start up here at the neck and work our way down to the shoulders, the chest, the spine, and the hips, the legs, and finally the toes. Okay, so here we go. Any questions at any time? Go ahead and ask, or you can chat me up here on the screen. So let's start with a Wudong Opening exercise, which is, again, we are sitting up straight. More about that later. We're sitting up straight. We have our feet on the ground. We want to have our position our heads over our waist, meaning that we're basically sitting up straight. And to help with that, let's see, somehow I lost video contact.
Are you having?
Okay.
Okay, we can see you. Right. Okay. So far.
With sitting up straight, a little trick is to tuck your chin in. One of the things that's important about sitting up straight is if you're hunched, what you're doing is you're putting weight forward. So let's say that you're sitting and you're slouched. That's the term I'm trying to think of. Now, your head is not aligned up with your waist, right? Your head is not over your waist. So if I sit sideways, this later, this is part of what's part of the 3 external harmonies in Tai Chi. So if I'm sitting up like this, I'm sitting up straight. But if I'm kind of hunched like this, I've contracted my chest. And so I've inhibited my breathing pattern, right? What I'm doing is constricting the muscles in my chest, making it more difficult for my lungs to work. So I'm getting less oxygen into my system. And at the same time, I'm putting a lot of pressure on my spine to try to maintain this upright posture. So when you're bent over like this, putting a lot of pressure on your spine, you've got your center of gravity over. You move your center of gravity from going directly through your core and directly going through from the core to the crown. And now it's moved out. And so that's putting pressure on your back and your spine. And so if you make a habit of doing that, if you do it once in a while, it's okay. But if you make a habit of doing that over a long period of time, you're going to cause a diseased situation rather than an eased situation. You're going to generate a variety of medical act of sitting up straight is really going to make you stronger and healthier, and especially when it comes to your back, which is so important. You know, when you have back problems, it's hard to really do anything, whether you're sitting or standing. Okay, so we're going to be working from here all the way down, and we're going to sit up straight, tuck the chin in, hands on our laps or our knees, and bring the hands up slowly, arms straight out, fingers pointing down. And let's rotate the fingers up and come down again to the knees. Let's do it one more time. Rise up, breathe in, turn the palms over, fingers pointing up, push down. Okay. Let's take a big scoop of energy, arms out to the side, palms flat up, overhead, palms coming down, pushing down, straight down toward the lap. Okay, so we're scooping up to the top, and then coming straight down. All right. So what I'm noticing is I think people are frozen. So when I'm looking at Fred Young, yeah, now his hands are down. And so Sally's hands are still up, now they're down. All right, so I try to follow you guys to see if you're doing it right. But you know, when it freezes, it's hard to tell whether you're doing anything right. So you're coming up, all the way up overhead. Turn the hands, come down. Finally to the waist. Okay, now bring the hands up, straight out, fingers pointing down, turning them over, swooping them down, back down to your knees, coming up again, straight out. Turn your palms facing in and pull into the chest. Turn your palms facing out and push out, breathing out. Open all the way, expand all the way back as far as you can to try to touch your shoulder blades together. Breathing in as much as you can comfortably, and then push forward, release. Hands straight out in front of you. Turn the palms facing in. Inhale, pull in. Exhale, push out. Open up and back. Close. And one more time, pull in. You should feel this pushing and pulling against a gentle pressure or resistance. Out. Expand. Contract. And down. Okay. Bring the hands up, holding the ball out in front of you. It's open and close. One more time, open, press against the gentle resistance. Take a deep breath. Slowly exhale as we push against the gentle resistance to close. Rotating one hand down, blocking back. Rotate around the spine, turn, stretch your neck to the right, look at your hand. Breathing in, breathing out, come back to center. Holding a ball. Rotate the hands in opposite directions the other way, rotating one arm out to the side, looking at the palm, blocking back with the other. Breathing in, breathing out, come back to center. And keep going to one side, breathing in, relaxing, coming back to the other side. Always coming back to holding a ball in front of your chest. Turn and look. Imagine you're looking in a mirror, holding a mirror up to the left side of your head or right side of your head. Keep going. Come back to center and open and close. Okay, holding the ball, rotate the hands in opposite directions, press down and push up. Come back to the ball. Rotate the hands in opposite directions, press down to the left, push up. Back to the ball. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Back to the ball. Turn this ball 180 degrees over and pull to one side. Turning. Come back to center. Breathe in. Turn the ball over, push to the other side. Should feel like you're exercising your spine, especially the bottom, near the bottom around the waist of your back, small of your back. Keep going. So this is a really good exercise to stretch the tendons and muscles in the spine. Keep going. You want to try to hold that ball on the very top and the very bottom, so that your palms should be directly opposed to each other, vertically aligned. Okay, come on back to center and open and close. So let's just turn the palms down on our laps and take a few breaths. Come up again. Now we're going to be pushing to one side and the other. So what we're going to do, either side, doesn't matter, is you're going to push out and forward with one palm and over to the other side. As you turn the other palm around, facing out, fingers pointing forward, and push or jut your elbow back. So you're pushing against a flat surface, like a wall on one side. Now rotating both palms around to the other side, pushing out with the back palm, pulling in with the front palm, and pulling that front palm over to the side and the elbow straight back to the other side. Again, both fingers pointing forward, turn, twist, push out, pull in. Good. Turn, twist, pull out, push out, pull in with the elbow. Keep turning and pushing. Notice that a lot of these exercises, quite a few of these exercises, actually involve the waist and the lower back and the spine, because that's the area that we use in Tai Chi to create a force. That's what we call the axle of the body, whereas the hands and the arms are the wheels. And so the axle controls the direction of, and the force is applied through the axle or through the waist to the hands and the arms. So it makes sense that we apply a lot of exercise to that area, which is the axle. We want to grease that axle to keep it so it works properly. If that doesn't work properly, then what you're doing with your hands and your arms are not going to be effective. So again, the spine is such an important part of our skeletal system. So if you're want to strengthen your spine, all the muscles and tendons in that area, I suggest you do this exercise. It also works the shoulders. Wherever you feel a bit of fatigue when you do this exercise, that's where it's helping. And at the same time, we're developing balance and dexterity with all these twistings and turnings in opposite directions, which are complementary and mirror images of each other, right? Just keep going with that. And then let's go ahead and we'll do one more. And let's bring the hands back to center and open and close. And bring the hands down right on our knees and sit up straight. Relax. Okay, now we're going to work the feet, not the feet, the legs. Make two fists, heart of the fist up, bring the fist back into your waist, jutting the elbow straight back. This is the Shoalin ready position. We're going to punch out with one hand or fist, and we're going to kick out with the other leg. All right, so this is going to be a twisting, spiraling motion as we punch out. We're going to end up with the heart facing down as we kick out with the other leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, let's add something else to this. Let's add the dimension of twisting around the waist, which allows you to reach out further. So here again, we're using the waist to drive the force, to drive the punch and the kick. Keep going. Keep going. You're going to be punching right out straight, horizontal to the ground. And it's going to be directly in front of you. So you're going to be punching through the shoulder line. So this punch doesn't come out to the side like a roundhouse or like a, whatever that's called in boxing. A hook, I guess they call it a hook. Kick and punch, kick and punch. Good, all right. Get back to your starting position, which is the shoulder in the starting position. Open up the palms. Pull your, extend your hands straight out, palms up, overhead, closing breath. Inhale, overhead, come down. And exhale. Good. And now the feet. We all know how to do this. I'm gonna stand up for this. Put the foot down. Lift your heel. Transfer your weight to one side if you're standing, to the other side, and rotate the heel back and forth, using the toe as a fulcrum. All right, and you can put your foot down and go from side to side. So we're just rocking back and forth from side to side. The other foot, heel rocking back and forth. Side to side. Okay, good. All right, so now let's get into something new. We're going to discuss and talk and examine a principle in Tai Chi. It's a very important principle called the Six Harmonies. And there are 3 internal harmonies and 3 external harmonies. Has anyone heard of this before, Chris? Chad, I mean, have you heard of this? All right. So this is pretty interesting stuff. So there are these 6 harmonies. So let's examine, what does harmony mean? Harmony means, I mean, I didn't look up the definition, but in my mind, what harmony means is it's the connection between things in a harmonious way, in a way that's complementary and beneficial. So does anybody else have any definition for what does harmony mean to somebody else, or any one of you want to weigh in on this? So harmony is when there's order rather than disorder, right? When there's complementarity rather than uncomplementarity, where there's accord rather than discord, where there's ease rather than dis-ease. So things are harmonious when they're in that positive state, and when things are connected in a way that makes things work well together, right? So as I said, there are 3 internal and 3 external harmonies. Now, the 3 internal harmonies are, in my mind, really the most important. The external harmonies have to do with posture, and the internal harmonies have to do with exactly what the definition is, what internal processing, which we'll get into in a second. So we talk about the external harmonies. We're talking about ways we carry different parts of our bodies to make them work to be martially effective in self-defense and fighting. So that's not that important as the internal harmonies in my mind. All right. So what are the three harmonies involved? The connection between three things. All right. The first is the spirit. The second is the mind, and the third is energy inside your body. So in Chinese, the spirit is referred to as Shen. The mind in Tai Chi is referred to as Yi. And energy, as you know, is Qi, right? So what's the connection between those 3? So when we think about the spirit, we think of the feeling of what's in the heart, and we're thinking about emotional things on an emotional level. So the spirit involves emotionality. The mind, our Shen, okay, the Yi, which is the translation in Chinese for mind, is exactly what it means. It's the mind, and involves mental activities, and in particular, something called Yi, which is the definition of the mind in Chinese, but it also means intention. So in Chinese, Yi means intention. It also means the mind. So really what it's doing, it's focusing on the main attribute of the mind, which is to form intentions. If you think about it, right? The mind forms an intention to do something or not to do something, to take some action or not take some action, and so on and so forth. So that's Yi. And then finally, energy is what we do with intentional thoughts. Energy is created to carry out a particular function or anything we want to do. So the 3 harmonies are that Shen leads to Li, or the spirit leads to the mind. The mind generates intention, which leads to energy, and then energy leads to something called Li, which is power or strength. So that's the result of all this. So the 3 harmonies are the connection between the spirit and the mind. That's the first one. The second one is the connection between the mind and energy, or the body. And finally, the third harmony is the connection between energy and the result of that energy, which is power, generating power or strength. Now, that strength can either be physical strength, or it can be emotional strength, and it can be spiritual strength, because strength can be defined in many different ways besides just how big your muscles are. So if you think about it, if these connections are not made and carried out in a harmonious fashion, it's very difficult to generate a positive outcome in terms of strength or power. So just think about it. If you're right up at the top of the food chain here is spirit. If your spirit is strong, your mind can create strong intentions, and those intentions can generate the energy that you need to do whatever it is you need to do, whatever it is you want to accomplish, whatever it is you want to manifest. Okay. On the other hand, if your spirit is low, you tend to become emotionally depressed, and if you're depressed, it's very difficult to harness to create any kind of intentions that lead to your intentions are not created. You have a low energy level, which makes it difficult to ultimately carry out any particular function that you want to do. So those 6 harmonies are really really important, and they're especially important in Tai Chi and self-defense. So and you think of put all of this together in a martial context. If you're faced with an adversary or an adversarial situation where you're being challenged physically, if you are frightened and withdraw on a spiritual level, you will not be able to create the right intention to do the right thing. And so it's very difficult to, if you're frightened, to defend yourself. As you know, you get this feeling of tunnel vision, and your body freezes up. You don't feel like you have any energy, and you become a victim. Okay, so all of these 3 internal harmonies, when they, I guess, were devised, if you will, were really focused on more self-defense and martial applicabilities, and but we can extend those to really anything we want to do in life. Okay, now the external harmonies, and I was thinking about this earlier, they're more important when you're standing and moving than they are sitting, but at least one of them is really important with respect to sitting, and it's something that I mentioned at the very beginning of this session, and that was maintaining upright posture. So the first and most important external harmony is to make sure that your head is balanced directly over your waist. So it's head over waist. So again, if I were to sit sideways and I'm sitting up straight, my crown is directly, you can draw a line directly through my crown, through my core, and it will meet up at right angles to my waist. Whereas if I'm slouched over like this, my head is not over my waist, right? And so this is very important in martial applications in Tai Chi. You always have to maintain an upright posture so that your balance is correct, so that you can use your arms and your hands effectively. The second external harmony is elbows over knees. And again, when you're moving and when you're standing, a proper posture when you're standing is not only to be standing up straight with your crown centered over your waist, crown aligned with your waist, but also for your knees to be bent. And if you have your hands up here doing something, like let's just do open and close. All right, maybe even in the sitting position, we can explore this. But if you're standing and I'm opening and closing, you can see how my elbows are lined up with my knees. Even if I stand up straight, my elbows are lined up with my knees. But when I crouch, I want to extend my elbows out so they're continually lined up with my knees. And this creates a more balanced situation. So all of these external harmonies have to do with balance and postures that enhance the balance so that you can fight effectively. And then the last one is hands over feet. And this is especially important in Sun style, which is the style that we're learning. But this is only applicable when you're standing and moving. And so one example of this is when we push out in the commencement, after we come up and down and we step out, notice how as I step out, my hands and my feet move together. When I step forward to do brush knee, my hands and my feet move together, see? And this is one of the important aspects of Sun style compared to some other styles. And so in Sun style, as well as other styles, but especially Sun style, the hands keeping in line, aligned with the feet is really important. So again, the head aligned with the waist, the elbows aligned with the knees, and the hands aligned with the feet. All right, so those are the 6 harmonies. Any questions about any of that? So I'll take any questions if I can answer them, or if you have any comments to make. But I encourage you. So I'm just introducing these things, kind of like this is an introduction to an introductory course, if you will. And so this is an introduction to the 6 harmonies. But there's so much out there on the 6 harmonies, and there's so much complexity with regard to it. There's so many different ways to tease it apart, to understand it, and to apply it, that I really highly recommend you to go online and look into it. So, Google the 6 harmonies, and you'll get tons of stuff on it that you might find really super interesting. And that could be very useful in your own lives, okay? All right, so let's take a deep opening breath. Bring the hands up overhead and come down, pushing down. Sit up straight, hands at your sides. Sun style Tai Chi. Bringing the hands out straight, fingers pointing down, breathing in, bringing the hands in, feet on the floor, and down to the waist. Pushing out straight, fingers pointing straight out. Bring the palms in. Breathe in, open, and close. Breathe out. Single whip. Turn the palms facing out. I'm going to admit somebody here. Turn the palms facing out, push out slightly, and extend to the side. If you can, lean to one side, maintaining the external, one of the 6 harmonies in the external head over waist. So as I move over, my head is over my waist. As I shift back to the left, I'm going to bring my hand down underneath, in an arc underneath my left elbow, switch up and down, pull to the right, cloud hands, switching up and down on the right hand side, pulling both hands to the left, hands together, switching up and down, pulling to right. And at this point, we're going to turn that lower hand up in an arc as we turn at the waist forward, palms opposing each other, open and close, breathing in and out. Okay. Ready for brush knee. Now we're going to turn at the waist at the same time that we fold the hands over to the right. So we're just going to fold the hands over to the right, elbows at the same level. We're going to turn over to the right. We place our right fingers on our left elbow, look back at our right palm. Now we're in a coiled position, ready to unload that energy as we turn our waist forward, sweeping across, thumb down, arm fully extended with the left hand, bringing it into the waist as we push out through the shoulder line with the right hand, palm facing out. Brush knee. Play the loop. Bring the right upper hand down. Bring the lower hand up. Bring the hands in to the front of the body line. Arm should be bent about 90 degrees. One hand up near the head, the lower hand down very close to the belly button or the waist. Good. All right. Get ready for deflect, parry, and punch. Turn the palms over. Right palm up, left palm down. Push out with the lower palm, pull in with the left palm, passing the hands past each other, brushing the palms past each other, bringing the front arm back, palm down, connected to the waist. So your thumb joint should be connected to your thigh or your waist. Turning the palms over. Push and pull once again, just like before, back to the other side. And we can do this as many times as we want. We're going to turn the palms over, push out, pull in. Turn the palms over, push out, pull in. Now, when you push out, you want to push out directly toward your neck, up toward your face, not out to the side. This is very linear through the body line. All right, good. Keep going. Keep going. We're brushing the hands, the palms past each other, bringing one in and one palm out, turning at the waist as we do this. We get to the right side, the right hand is back down, the left hand is extended out, palm up. We make two fists, and now we're going to rotate or turn the front fist over across the chest. This is a parry, and we're going to punch over the wrist out straight. So your fist should be directly out straight in front of you with the eye of the fist up this time. All right. You're punching up over the wrist, directly ahead of you. Good. All right. Now open the hands up and connect the wrists together. The palms are facing out now, flared out. We draw the hands in and down, the elbows coming down, splitting force coming down, protecting the face. Good. Bringing the hands down to the chest and pushing out. And you're going to be pushing out and up. Rotate the hands facing each other, bring them into your chest, and open and close. 12 movements, going to the next 12 movements in reverse, push out, single whip. This time lean to the left, slightly. As we come up, leaning back to the right, we bring the left hand down in an arc in front of us underneath the right elbow. And at the right side of our body lines, we switch up and down, maintaining the same distance between the hands. And now rotate both over to the left, switch up and down. We're doing cloud hands left now. Keep going to the right, pulling to the left, switching to the right, to the left. Follow your fingers of the upper hand as they move across the horizon. Look up. Try to look up, don't look down. It'll raise your spirit if you look up. Now, when you get to one side or the other, it doesn't matter, and you want to stop, you turn that lower palm up, bring it up in an arc, over, turning it the waist forward to a ready position, and you open and close. Good. Brush knee left. Rotate the hands to the left, turn to the left. Right fingers on left elbow, look back. We are in a coiled position looking back at the right palm, left palm. As I turn back using the waist, I extend my lower hand out with the thumb down, palm out, and I brush across and block as I push directly out with the left hand, bringing the right hand in to the right hip, palm facing down. Playing the lute, remember to bring the upper hand down, the lower hand up. This is the mirror image of the other first play the lute. And you'll notice how I'm kind of turning that wheel. So you're describing like an oblong wheel, an oblong circle, or an elliptical circle. So this movement is done in a kind of elliptical fashion. Okay. And once again, for deflect, parry, punch in the opposite direction, we turn the lower hand up, the upper hand down. What we're really doing here is blocking down first. So we're blocking a force coming in, and now we're going to go on the offensive, and we're going to push and pull and direct a knife strike to the neck, to the throat, as we come out and pull back. Turning the palms over, deflect. Turn the palms over, deflect. Pull in and out, keep going. Make sure you're breathing. Okay, now left hand pushes out, right hand pulls in, make two fists, parry and punch over the wrist. Open the hands up, pull them back, calling block, push down and out, push. Beautiful. Come back to the chest and open and close. Now, setting up for man walking, straightening out his clothes. We're going to do another brush knee in the same direction. Right, so we're going to rotate the palms over to the left, right fingers on left elbow, turn to the left, look back, wound up at looking at the left palm, sweep across with the right hand, fully extended, push out with the left, and now bring your right hand up past your hip, fingers pointing down, and up in an arc, and push it forward. Like you're pulling a gun out of the holster, you push it forward. Now you should, at one point you're holding a ball, but you want to extend that right palm a little bit past the left palm, palms facing each other. All right. And now bring the left fingers over to the right palm and make the connection with the wrist of the right hand. All right. So you start out in this position here with the brush knee. You rotate the right hand up and out, extending it past the left hand, and then you touch the fingers of the left hand to the right wrist. At the same time, open the palms up. Now, from this point on, I want you to keep that connection between the fingers of the left hand and the right wrist. Now, you're going to be moving around in different directions, but you're always going to maintain that contact, and you're going to use that contact as like a ball joint to move your hands in different directions. Make sense? All right. So now you open up your hands like you're opening up a book, and you bring the hands in and down and up under your chin, and then strike out. It's called monkey offering fruit, or it's also called lady offering a book. And what you're really doing is it's a strike to the neck, to the throat, guiding that strike with the fingers of the left hand. So that adds more force to it. And the hand should be fully extended. And this is what it looks like from the side. And now you bring the hands out to the side, and what you're doing is guiding a block to the side with the right arm, turning around the waist slowly, and you get a nice good stretch out to the right, And now bring your right palm under your chin like you're holding a tray next to your shoulder. And now bring it forward, facing out, straight out, and push out. And now at this point, both palms are facing out. The left palm, which is the lower palm, fingers of that palm are still attached to the wrist of the right hand, and both palms are facing out. So now what I've done, I've struck to the right, I bring the hands in and around in a circular motion to generate the energy to push it forward, striking forward. Bring the hands into the chest, opposite each other, and open and close. All right. So now we're going to do punch under elbow. Punch under elbow, we have to start with a single whip to get into that position. We do our single whip. This is a standard single whip. We're going to just push out without leaning this time. Or you can lean to the right if you want, because we're going to be generating energy to the left. So you can lean to the right to kind of push off the right side of your body in the next step. So as you do your single whip, now make a fist with your right hand, all right? And bring that right hand around in a circle back and to the waist. As you bring the left hand out, palm facing to the right. All right. So you do your single whip, you make a fist. Now, as you turn your body, you're going to rotate the fist in the right, you're going to rotate around and bring the fist around in a circle and into your waist, getting ready to punch out through the waist. So you make the fist, bring the fist around. At the same time, you bring your hand around in front of you, your palm around in front of you. So really what you're doing here is, if you think about it, is you're defending yourself on both sides with the single whip. All right, you're doing something with the single whip. You could be grabbing a wrist and pulling it as you extend this arm out to the face or to the chest, or you could just be striking in both directions. And now you want to focus your attention on something going on in front of you. And so you're going to parry with the left hand. All right. The first parry we did was like this, grabbing a wrist, pulling it over out of the way. This parry is slapping a strike away. All right. Something's coming at you. Single whip, strike to the right, parry, block with the left hand as you bring the right hand down in an arc, making a fist and punching under that elbow. And so you're blocking a punch coming in and then punching at the short ribs. If you punch under the elbow, you're going to punch, you're striking toward the short ribs of your opponent. So this is the martial application, bringing the hands around like this. And you're really forming a circle in the horizontal plane, if you think about it, right? Because we're here, and then we're forming a circle, winding up, blocking with the left hand, and then bringing the fist into the waist with the right hand and punching under that parry, under the elbow. All right. Now what we're going to do is rotate back to open the palms up. We're going to rotate back to a brush knee position. So from this direction here, we're just going to rotate the hands up, placing the fingers of the left hand on the right elbow, and the right palms facing toward our right ear. So this is a very quick way to get in to this next position, because all we do is just rotate one palm down and the other palm up. And the lower palm is in the form of a fist. It's going to open up to an open palm. All right, and then we turn forward. Now, these moves are very similar to the next three moves are very similar to brush knee, but they're called something else. They're called Repulse the Monkey. So we get in that position, we push forward, brush knee, all right? We turn to the left, get in that brush knee position, right fingers on left elbow, looking at the back left palm. We brush across again, and then we do one more forward. And there we are, okay. So I'm going to, instead of finishing the set, the next few moves, which would be 24 movements, I want to work on this Repulse the Monkey a little bit. Now, standing up, it's done in three different directions. Standing up, it's done to the left, coming back to the right, and then forward. So it goes this way, you're in this position. I'm in this position facing you. I'm going to wind up, I'm going to go to the left, I'm going to turn around and come back to the right, and then I'm going to go forward. But we're doing it in the sitting position. So all these three moves, these three Repulse the Monkey moves, are done in the forward position, right? I guess we could do them in that other, we can do them to the left and the right, but it might be a little awkward. Let's try it. Punch under elbow, set up, turn to the left, and you see what I'm doing is I'm trying to brush knee to the left, but my body is forward. And so I'm violating a whole mess of Tai Chi principles. And in fact, it feels uncomfortable. All right, because my hands aren't over my feet now, are they? My hands are to the left, my feet are to the right. So I'm violating the third external principle. And my elbows aren't over my knees. I got one elbow way out to the left and my right elbow is over my knees. So I'm violating two out of the three external principles. The idea of alignment with regard to the three external harmonies is to make everything work just the way it's supposed to work. If anything's misaligned, it doesn't work right, and it doesn't feel right. If it doesn't feel right, it probably isn't right. So we can't do it sitting down that way, right? I can demonstrate this standing up for you. This is what it looks like. So we punch under elbow. So you can see how I've done that in three directions. So I'm just explaining this to you guys because I just want to make sure you understand that we are modifying the form to the sitting position. And in order to do that, we can't move. Obviously, we can't move to the left and to the right. We can only kind of move forward, in and out. Okay, so I've belabored that point enough. If you're interested in doing these Repulse the Monkeys in the classical way, then you're going to have to learn how to do this in a standing course. And I've thrown that out there to Sarah Dawn and the BORP. If you want to have a standing class in this style, I'll be willing, more than willing to do it. And there may be some people in this class that would like can stand up and would like to try it in the standing position. And it adds a whole new aspect to the form, a whole new aspect to it, because you're using your body from the waist down as well as from the waist up. So let's practice this this move in 3 quasi positions. We're going to be doing the sitting position. All right. So the first thing we do is we turn, punch under elbow. I'm going to turn to the right as I do this. All right, setting up. Brush knee straight. Setting up to the left. Brush knee straight. Setting up to the right. Turning, pulling across. And so you can see what I'm doing is I'm just bringing my right, I'm turning my my palm in, pulling in as I bring the left hand up, putting it in position, now making the connection to the elbow. Now watch, we're going to brush knee. Now I'm going to turn this hand forward and pull it in to the elbow. See? As I push forward and brush knee. Once again, turn the front palm up, bring it in, like come here to the elbow, brush knee, turn the palm facing up, bring it in to the elbow, brush knee. And so what I'm doing is explaining, this is the essence of Repulse the Monkey. The essence of Repulse the Monkey is when somebody is coming at you, you reach out and grab their wrist and you pull it, you pull them in the direction they're already moving. So using their energy to uproot them and unbalance them. All right, now it's very hard for me to demonstrate this, but you can imagine reaching out to the side. If somebody is coming at me, and I step to the side, I reach out, I grab their wrist, and I just pull them past me, or in this direction, past me. And so this is what we're doing with these brush knees. All right, so we're punch under elbow, get in position, brush knee, pull in position, brush knee, turn the palm, pull back in position, brush knee. And so that's how these brush knees in this part of the set are redefined as Repulse the Monkey. Okay, I hope that's makes sense. If you do this standing up, it becomes more obvious. It's just kind of difficult to explain it without actually, participating, without actually doing it and feeling the energy that I'm talking about. You get a feel for pulling, and just like you get a feel for pushing or pulling in. These are these different energies that you feel in Tai Chi, and so we can only feel some of them. We can feel them in the sitting position, but it's a bit of a stretch for some of them. All right, so any questions, call me or email me, and if not, we'll see everybody next week and we'll continue. All right.